Block. We are going to go ahead and start. I am recording. Thank you all for coming today. You might see me look up and stutter a little bit as I'm adding people into the meeting as they're coming in a little bit late. But I want to go ahead and get started. My name is Alexis Hughes. I'm with eXp Realty for those of you that don't know me. I've been a licensed agent for 4 years. And in that time frame, I've gone from barely doing 4 million in volume to doing over 20 million in 2020. When I first started out in real estate, I had no idea what I was doing, didn't know what a market analysis was, had no one to train me. And I've had exactly one appraisal come in low ever in my career. And that was my very first listing. And the reason why is because I didn't know how to do a correct market analysis. And so what I've done is basically studied over 100 appraisals in my time as an agent. And that was the first year. So if I had a buyer, I would request to see their appraisal. And I would look and see, hey, how is this appraiser adjusting for square footage? How are they adjusting for patios? How are they adjusting, if there's more bedrooms and we don't have the right comps? And so by studying that, I just kind of trained myself to adjust like an appraiser would. This is not a class on how to appraise. We are not teaching appraisals right now. What we're teaching is a market analysis. And it's important to understand that it truly is an analysis. You can't do the price per square foot, average price per square foot, and get an actual idea of what the home is going to be worth. And additionally, you can't sit there and say, hey, this home is worth the same as a one-story home if it's 2 stories. So I want to jump in today, just going over a couple of things that will be important. So market analysis is obviously important for listings because that's going to give you this range. That way you can understand what a home is potentially worth. But it's also going to be golden in the market that we're in right now for your buyers. We have a ton of buyers out there right now that are not able to get their offers accepted because they don't have 50,000 laying around to guarantee appraisal gaps and stuff. And so what we have found, myself, my team, the agents that I work with, is that if we utilize this market analysis, we can really see how far we can realistically push it. And then we can educate our buyers on, hey, this is what you can offer. We really think it will appraise for this based on these comps and these adjustments. Additionally, when you are representing these buyers or sellers and stuff like that, I will send my market analysis over to the appraiser. And when they see how I've adjusted it out, usually they just go with my comps because I'm not BSing, and how I adjust it out is very similar to what it looks like on an actual appraisal. Some of you guys may have taken courses before, and there's these fancy spreadsheets and you have to plug in all this different stuff. It takes you like an hour to even get it set up before you've made adjustments. I will not be doing that. I utilize our MLS system to adjust accordingly. And I'm going to walk you guys through that. If you are not in the Charlotte market and you're somewhere else, your MLS should have this option in there. But if for some reason you can't find it or you don't think so, let me know. We'll go in together on a Zoom and I'll see what I can find for you. And then if that doesn't work, then I can always share a spreadsheet that I have that you can use in place of your MLS. So before we get started, does anyone have any questions that they want to get out the way right now, or do y'all want to just jump into it? All right, sounds good. All righty. Couple of questions in the chat. Paul, yes, this is being recorded for later. Randall, am I better? Can you hear me better now? All right, I'm gonna say that's a yes. Okay. So guys, I'm gonna share my screen with you. And for this course, I'm gonna choose a property that I want to do a market analysis on. And so when we're choosing comps and how to do it and how to start, you always want to try and choose as close to your subject property as possible. And you want to make sure that if you can stay in the neighborhood, right? So for this, we're going to be doing a market analysis for a house that's actively listed, and it's going to be 116 Tranquil Court. So in my MLS, I hope you guys can all see the screen really well, but in my MLS, I would go to residential quick. pulls this up. The first thing I want to do is click under contract closed, make sure active and coming soon are there too, because remember, this is an analysis. We're going to look at everything. We obviously know that the closed comps are going to hold more weight in terms of price and value, but the under contract, the active, the coming soon, that's your competition. That tells you what the market's doing. If we've got 5 houses going under contract, multiple offers, and they're all pending, and they all did it within 0 to 1 day on the market, we know that this is a hot neighborhood and we can kind of push the price a little bit. But let's say, for instance, one of the houses that's under contract was on the market 46 days. Well, we know that that's probably too high of a price point to list at. So it's going to give us some really, really good information. So right now, what we're going to do is we're going to pull up our subject property, what it's going to be for today. If you look, it's right here, coming soon. Now, many people are going to ask, well, what if it's not an MLS or never has been in MLS before? That's where your tax records really come in handy. You can plug the address in and you can pull up all the information. What's the acreage on it? How many square feet is it? How many bedrooms does it have? How many bathrooms does it have? And then what's really cool is you can actually come down in some of the tax databases and you can see the last time it was actually on the market and pull the MLS number from there. So that way you're not, having to go track stuff down. So let's pretend that I'm pulling everything from here. First thing I do is I get on the tax records and I pull the last MLS number that it had. If it didn't have an MLS number, it's never been on the market before, that sucks. We're going to have to type everything in by hand. But for this one, we're going to say, hey, yeah, it's been there. Grab that last MLS number and just copy it. So if it had been on the market before, I'm going to look at the past pictures. I want to see what it looked like in the past. It'll give me an idea of what the home looks like. I'm going to go through, check it out. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back to my criteria. I'm going to take away under contract. I'm going to take away active, and I'm going to take away coming soon. I now know that I have a 2-story subject property. So I'm going to click 2-story. And that gives me within 0.25 miles, 6 matches that are closed. So I'm going to click results. I'm going to look. Oh, wow. All of these are very, very similar in age, very similar in square footage. Let's pick some that are really, really good. For this, you want to try and stay as close to size and age as possible. If I'm clicking on these and I've got a 2,000 square foot house, unless there was nothing available, I'm probably not going to use a 3,100 square foot comp for that. So in that scenario, let's look. We know that our subject property is roughly 2,000 square feet. It's 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths. Great. We've got a perfect comp right here. I'm going to click on it. Come down, 1,700 square foot, maybe, but let's see if we have any better. I like this 2,200 square foot one better because it's closer and it's over 2,000 square feet. So if you guys are listening right now, that is how we're analyzing. We're thinking in our brain, what's closest? Is someone looking for a 2,000 or more square foot house ever going to see that 1,700 square foot house? No, it's a completely different demographic. You can see everything over 2,000 square foot sells higher. I'm going to use those. I'm going to click on this one because it's super close. It's literally on the same exact street, even though it has 4 bedrooms. I'm going to use that one. And then I want another 3-bedroom comp. So I'm going to pick this one that is 1,700 square feet. I like to have at least 3 to 4 comps. After that, I feel like it just gets too much. There's no reason to have 7 closed comps. 3 to 4 is more than enough. And so then I'm going to click this CMA button right here. You can create a contact in your MLS. I usually don't, right? I'm going to click pages. I'm going to click subject and adjustments. Now, I love, love, love the fact that you can mess with this. So I have some of my agents that come in and they'll pick these different things. I encourage you to play around with it. Do mock CMAs and then see what works best for you. See what you like the best. You may want to have the map that has all of the listings everywhere. David? I choose not to. Hey guys, if you can mute your mics if you've got background noise. So then you click subject. This is where if there was not a past MLS number, you would have to type them in manually. But since we do have an MLS number, I'm simply going to copy and paste it in here and click fill. you notice it pulls everything in. It will pull all the information from that past CMA in for you. You're good to go. If for some reason you had to type it in, you would be typing everything in: street number, the county, 2-story, 1-story, what the exterior is. If you know that it's got certain features, like maybe the potential sellers told you, hey, yeah, we added a pool or something like that, you can put that into exterior features. You can even do your remarks section if you want to. Then we click comparables. We make sure they're all there. Great. We're ready to rock and roll with adjustments. This is where the confusion comes in, because people are always like, well, how do you know exactly what to adjust? And keep in mind, this is for a run-of-the-mill market analysis. Obviously, if we're doing a luxury listing, we're not going to adjust $25 per square foot. A luxury listing is a higher market, but this is just your run-of-the-mill. If you guys ever get to a point where you've got a very unique property, or it is a luxury property and you want some help with it, let me know so we can jump on a call, because those are really difficult to comp out. And there's no way we could ever teach a course on it because they're unique. So in this scenario, you guys are going to hear a couple of adjustments, right? I want you to grab a piece of paper or pen if you're driving or you can't do it right now. This will be recorded, so try to pop on later, because this is what's going to be important to you when you're doing this later on. What are you adjusting for things, Alexis? Why are you adjusting for it? As I said in the beginning, I'm adjusting what I'm adjusting because out of 100 appraisals that I've looked at, these are what the adjustments usually are, right? And so in this scenario, we see that we've got 3 really good comps that we don't have to adjust for a bedroom, but we did pull in the 4-bedroom that's on that same road. So in this scenario, for any bedrooms, and a bedroom is what's defined in your local market. What is a bedroom? Bedrooms are $10,000 up or down, depending on whether you have it. Since our subject property does not have a 4th bedroom, we're going to minus $10,000. All of them have 2 full baths, so that's good. If for some reason we needed to adjust for a full bathroom, it would be $5,000 up or down, depending on if your subject has it or not. Half baths are usually going to be $2,500. So if a full bath is $5,000, half bath $2,500, and you would adjust up and down accordingly. Then you come over to the side. You can see exterior construction, vinyl, stone veneer, vinyl. You can adjust for this stuff. Absolutely. In the past, just from friends of mine that are appraisers and stuff, just when I've asked them the question, they've usually said, if it's just like a little stone veneer front, I'm not going to add anything for it. So let's say, for instance, you had a brick comp. There was just no other comps for this, and it was brick, and you had to choose it. You would make that adjustment accordingly, and it would be based off of the square footage. So for this one, we're not going to adjust because it's stone veneer and vinyl, and then our subject property is vinyl. Then I like to go into detail mode, because we're getting down to some nitty gritty stuff right now. We're getting to interior features, things like that. We've not visited this property yet, because if you're doing this marketing analysis, you're getting ready for your listing appointment, right? Or you're getting ready to make an offer. So in this scenario, we don't know what the interior features are to be able to adjust. Outside, the lot features clear, level, open, cleared. They're the same, no adjustment needed. 2-car garage, no adjustment needed. Let's say it was a 1-car. Every garage stall is worth $10,000. So we would adjust 10,000 up or down. This is the part that's really important. You've got your square footage. That doesn't look like a lot, right? Some people wouldn't adjust this. But when I go to my client's house, or when I go to my buyers, or when I send this to an appraiser, I want them to see that I did every single thing to make sure that we were spot on. So in this scenario, you're going to take the larger.
Hello.
Hello.
All right. I'll be right there.
Hold on 1 second, guys. I'm going to mute everybody. All right. Can y'all hear me? I think I've got everybody muted, and myself, I'm still good to go. So in this scenario, I've got my handy dandy little phone right here. So you guys are going to see me using my calculator quite a bit. So we've got 2197, which is 2,197 square feet. And we're going to subtract 2,069. That's a difference of 128 square feet. I'm then going to multiply that by $25 a square foot. Why, Alexis? Why are you multiplying it by $25? Why not 50? Why not 40? Why not 70? The reason being is because on the 100 appraisals that I have looked over, the adjustment's always been $25. If that ever changes, I will come back and we will do a new class. So when I do 128 square feet times 25, that gives me an adjustment of $3,200. So this is our comp is larger, it's superior. So we're going to subtract 3,200. Now we're going to look at lot size, 0.18 and 0.21. So we have a little bit larger of a lot. So again, 0.21 minus 0.18 is 0.03. Now people ask all the time, how do you figure out what to adjust for the average price per acre? Everywhere is different. In Locust, for instance, I know that the average price per acre is about $9,000. How do you find this? The same exact way you would find comps for resale houses, you go and search land and find out what the closed comps are. And that's where you build your average. So in Locust, it's about $9,000. So that difference of 0.03 acres multiplied by 9,000 is going to give us an adjustment of 270. So our subject property is superior. So it's going to get $270. You can see that it was this particular one. They were both built the same year. There were no closing costs that were given. If for some reason closing costs were given, I would subtract them from this because that gives me a clear picture for my clients. And it also allows me to show them that, hey, yes, it is common in our area for closing costs to be paid. Or, hey, no, guys, it's not common. I don't think we should accept this offer, whatever the case may be. Come to your next property. Again, go through, make all of the adjustments. So this has an attached 2-car garage. We don't have to adjust for that. This one has a fenced yard. This one does not. So for a fence, I'm going to give my property $1,750 because they have a fenced in yard and the subject property does not. $1,750 again comes from the appraisals that I've studied. There's no exact science to this. I just like to study and know what an actual appraiser is going to do. So for the square footage, we do 2,069 minus 1,775. That gives us the difference of 294 square feet multiplied by $25 gives us 7,350 for an adjustment. Our subject property is superior, so they are going to get 7,350. We've got a difference of 0.01 in acreage. So 0.01 times 9,000 is going to give us an adjustment of $90. We come down, we can see that, hey, the comp property is actually newer than the subject. So what we do is we will take 1,000 per year. There's a 3-year difference between these two. So I'm going to subtract $3,000. Go to the next one. Again, everything is exactly the same. So 2249 minus 2,069, 180 difference times 25 is a 4,500 adjustment. So anybody here, if you want to unmute your mic, would we add or subtract 4,500 for this?
Subtract.
You would subtract. Can you tell me why?
Because the subject property is inferior to the adjustment.
Yay! Way to go, Annie. Okay, awesome. So we subtract 4,500. Again, same thing, a 0.1 or 0.01 difference in acreage, and it is going to go to the superior property. So $90 there. We see that this particular comp is 1 year newer. So we're going to subtract 1,000 and we keep it moving. Keep it moving. And guys, it's things like this that you're going to see that are going to make you feel prepared. And it's also going to lessen how many times you have to go to a house. You should be able to go to a house with a market analysis and be able to come up with a price at that house while you're getting the listing agreement signed. And we'll go more into that. Now, what I do want to show you is, hey, 128 Tranquil Court. Look right here. It has a fenced yard. It has a fire pit and a hot tub. How do we adjust for that? Are those things that are going to actually give more value? I am going to say yes, because that hot tub in North Carolina anyway is a fixture that has to convey with the home, which means if a home has it, it's more valuable. A fire pit, it's going to convey with the home. Obviously, I'm not going to give them a full $12,000 for the hot tub because it depreciates over time. So let's look at what it would take to buy a new hot tub today. I've actually researched this. And this is where you just go on Google. How much is a hot tub? Okay, a hot tub today is roughly $12,000. A nice built-in fire pit would cost you roughly $10,000 to do. And so in this scenario, we've got $12,000, $10,000. That's $22,000 worth of upgrades is what we're going to call them. What is a quarter of that? So divide it by 4. That's a $5,500 adjustment. So you can usually get about 25% of what it would cost new on things like this. So what we're going to do is we're going to subtract 5,500 because our subject property does not have those things. We come to 2411 square feet minus 2,069. That's 342 square feet difference times 25. That's an $8,550 adjustment. We are going to subtract it because the comp is superior. Then we see the size of the lot. So 0.3 minus 0.21 is 0.09 in difference times 9,000. That would be 810 that we're going to lose. And then they're the same exact age. So guys, we've gone through, we've made our basic adjustment based on fact alone. At this point, I do want to stop and answer any questions for anyone that is kind of confused maybe or wants to just ask a question. Does anyone have any questions before we move forward?
Do you have a cheat sheet that has all of these? I'm like trying to write as fast and all I see is mess.
Yeah, and I also talk really fast. I do have a cheat sheet. So if you guys want me to send the one I have over that I just kind of use leisurely, I don't stick to it 100%, but it really gives you a great way to like just kind of glance and get an idea. I can email that to you guys. So if you want to send me a message or a text after this class with your email that you want me to send it to, I'll get those cheat sheets out to all of you within 24 hours.
Hey, Alexis, I have a question about whether or not, is this on like Flex MLS too? Because I don't have Canopy, and if I'm supposed to have Canopy, my mentor has never set me up with it. So this is the first time I've ever even seen it.
So it should be on Flex, Emily. And what we can do is we can go in and screen share via Zoom, me and you, and okay. I can show you where it would be found. And if for some reason it's not found in there, it's going to make it a little bit harder, but I can give you an actual spreadsheet that you can just plug and play. So,
okay. I mean, I don't mind the actual spreadsheet doing the plug and play thing. That's
okay. Awesome. Yeah, I'll make sure you've got it, but I want to see if you've got the auto one. Okay. In your MLS, because if you've got the one that automatically lets you pull the comps in and you don't have to type everything out, you'll see in a minute why that will be beneficial.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Anybody else have any questions before we move on?
Yeah, what about other other detached features such as barns, detached garages, tractor sheds, etc.?
So those are going to be what we call unique properties, right? And so in that scenario, I'm going to try and find comps that already have those things, right? If there are no comps within 10 miles that have those things for me to use, that is the only time I'm going to adjust for those. So let's talk a little bit about like detached garages and things like that. If you've just got a 2-car detached garage and there's nothing special about it, just 2-car garage that's set off to the side, it's going to be $10,000 per stall. So it'd be a $20,000 adjustment. If you've got a barn, for instance, it's going to really come down to how nice is the barn. Is it just a metal shed with some run-ins? Okay, that would cost us about $25,000 to do today. And so I'm going to do a quarter of that for my adjustment. But if it's like an awesome barn, it's got stalls, tack rooms, concrete flooring, gorgeous, 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 it's obviously going to be more. So what would it cost to build that today? $75,000. What's a quarter of that? So you're taking what today's value to do it new is, and you're taking 25% of that for your adjustment. Does that make sense, Justin?
Yes.
Okay, any other questions?
Yes, ma'am. What about if the house has a pool? One of them does and the other doesn't.
A pool? Pools are fun.
Built in?
Yeah, so, and again, above ground pool, we're not going to make an adjustment at all. number one. If it's a built-in pool, is it vinyl? Is it fiberglass? Is it concrete? Number one. Then you're going to say, okay, how old is it? Is it old as dirt? It's 40 years old. That's not going to be much of an adjustment. But if it's a very nice pool, what would it cost to do that pool today? Let's say it's an in-ground concrete gunite pool. And I know for a fact today, to be able to do that, you're spending at least $80,000. And so when you look back traditionally on appraisals, in fact, my house has a pool, our adjustment for it was $25,000. And ours is fiberglass. So for a concrete, I'm probably going to be adjusting $35,000 to $40,000, which is what I did with one of my listings. So it really, again, it comes down, what does it cost to do today? And making that adjustment. You can't give them the full amount of it. We can't adjust $120,000 for it, but we can give them some good push on it. Now, if it's awesome, it's got, you know, outdoor kitchen and all of that stuff too, we're going to be bumping up in price. And so again, that's where we go back to, this is an analysis, guys. It's not an exact science, right? If you can pull, even if it's outside of your 5-mile radius, if you can pull some houses with some pools and compare them to what they sold for, compared to, you know, the houses next door that don't have the pools, and you're seeing that it's usually 30 to 40,000 more, you could use that as a guideline for your adjustment for a pool as well. Like in Charlotte, I know exactly what I would adjust for a concrete pool, and it would be 45,000. But in some areas, the pools aren't that valuable, right? Does that make sense, Paul? I don't want to confuse you more. All right, so we've made our adjustments. We're at the finish line. We've got our analysis done. We're going to finish, view it. This is what my CMA looks like when I go to a client's house. All right, we've got 4 comps. We know our range, this adjusted comparable price, our range is $295 to $331, right? That means that if the house is dirt and terrible, and when you go in there, it's just nasty and beat up, we're going to be on the low range. That means if we go in there and that house is like decked out to the nines, perfect showroom home, we're going to be on the higher range. If it's just your run-of-the-mill house, you're going to be 307 to 310. This comes down to pricing strategy, right, guys? You want to choose that if it's a run-of-the-mill house, that 307 to 310. How are you going to decide what to list at? Always go higher. I would go for the 310 round numbers. I like round numbers. Round numbers do not cancel anybody out. So if anybody is looking 3 to 310, or they're looking 310 to 320, they're all those buyers are going to see it. So keep that in mind when choosing your list price and educating your clients on that. Then we come down, you can see all of the adjustments. You're going to talk this through with your clients. What I will say is you can see the total number of adjustments. If I'm ever unsure on price when I see the house, I am going to give weight to whatever comp had the least amount of adjustments to it, right? So the least amount of adjustments is this one, $2,930 adjustment. I'm going to give more weight when I go into that house to this, but that's not where we stop, because remember, an analysis, we need to look at everything. So once I've got that and I know my range of value, I'm going to come in and I'm going to say, all right, who's our competition and what's under contract and what can pull us down possibly if it closes for lower. So I go back in and I pull out a little bit, because obviously we want to know if they're looking at Tranquil Court in Locust, they're probably looking all over Locust. And so I want to see all of that. I'm going to click under contract and I'm going to click active and coming soon. And I am going to keep it 1 stories, 2 stories, everything. The only thing I am going to change is I want to change the year built. I want 2010 only, or 2010 and up. And the reason being is most people looking at new construction, that's our competition, something that's newer. A 1981 house is not going to be competition for this house that was built in 2016. So when I do that, I've got 7 matches within 2 miles. What I do at that point is I want to go out a little bit further because I want more matches. So I go out 3 miles, I've got 9. Let's look at them. This is our competition, and it's going to tell us where the market's going, how strong the market is, all of that. So you guys can see that we have one house in the same exact neighborhood, and it's brand new construction at 344. So I know right away that I need to make sure that my pricing is not as high as this. And the reason being is anybody, 9 times out of 10, they're going to choose a brand new house over that. So if I go to my clients and I say, hey guys, you know, based on this, I think we can, you know, list your house for 330,000. And they're like, well, the house down the road is listed at 344. That's where you've got to tell them, do you want to sell your house or do you want to sell your neighbor's house? Because there is a difference there. So that tells me don't go that high, Alexis. Even if the market analysis tells you can, don't. Then we've got this house, it's 429, went under contract in 15 days. So I'm going to think to myself, you know, if we were in the 4s, that would be fine. Keep coming, 299. Oh my gosh. So this house is on the market for 3 days, listed at 299. It was built in 2015. This could potentially hurt us on appraisal. And I see that it was 3 days. There's no disclosure of multiple offers at all. So that's where I'm going to caution my clients. We're going to keep an eye on this one, guys. This comp may bring us down. Keep going. 319, same neighborhood, 2018. Yes, we're back in the 3s. Awesome. How many days on the market? 3 days on the market. Perfect. Keep going. 224, that one's not going to be a comp. It's not going to be competition. It's 1,000 square feet. It's 2 bedrooms. Then we keep going. We've got another one, 298. This one could bring us down too, right? 4 days on the market. Keep going. So what this is telling me is I need to keep an eye on these 2 houses, but when an appraiser does come out, I need to make sure I'm giving him this market analysis. I don't want him pulling those properties in Meadow Creek Village. Those properties in Meadow Creek Village are going to hurt us. And so guys, what I would advise my clients, I probably would have done a 330 list price. Reason being is you're hitting anybody looking up to 330 and you're hitting anybody looking 330 and up. But I can see that in this area, there's not much competition, right? Not much competition at all. Our only competition is new construction. So as long as I stay competitive, about 10,000 lower than this, so about 335, don't go higher than that, we're going to be able to sell and sell quickly. So my recommendation would be a 335 list price or 330 price for my clients. Does anyone have any questions about that?
So you're using a round number for ease of searching for other agents to search rather than using the psychology of saying, well, if we set it at 329 instead of 330, the psychology side of it would say that it's cheaper, but you're saying to actually set it at 330 because you're catching people going up to 330 and people going from 330 up.
Right. So I know that there's big debates about the psychology of a buyer looking and thinking it's cheaper or more affordable because of the 999. Here's my thought process. I'm all about supply and demand, right? Low supply, lots of buyers, price goes up. So I want to capture as many buyers looking for houses as possible. If I do the 999, like let's say I did 299, I'm missing anybody looking 300 and up, period. I'm not capturing them. I would rather be able to capture everybody looking up to 300 and everybody looking 300 to 350. So that's the reason I price it that way. I've even got listings that the market analysis, there was like 295 was pushing it. And I tell my clients, let's list at 300,000. I'm not saying that we'll appraise at that. We may get an offer at that. And if we do, great. But 300,000 is going to get the most eyes on our listing. And I'll push it up that way. Any other questions?
Yeah, can you back out and show me how you got those 9?
Yes.
The 9?
Yes. So
you went back out and you changed the date, I think.
Yeah. So you go to search residential, right? You put your address in. All right. I want to do under contract as well. And then I wanted 2010 or newer. So I have true competition. I come to the map search right here and I went out 3 miles. Ugh, why isn't it doing what I want it to do? Now I've got 80. Oh, it's Charlotte. Sorry guys, I need the locus. Tranquil Court locust. All right. And so I got 9 matches because I pulled out further. So let's say when you're looking for comps, there's just nothing around. You guys can go out up to 5 miles if there truly are no comps, right? You can go up to 5 miles. Any more than that, and I would not, I would actually go further back in time rather than going further out in mileage and make an adjustment based on the market and how it's increased or decreased. Did you catch that time? Sorry, guys, you might hear my dog barking.
Yes, yes.
All right, any other questions, guys? All right, I'm gonna go through the chat box real quick to see if I missed any questions that were in there. All right, yep, being recorded. So, Abby, when you're doing your, Abby asked, so you shouldn't use pending listings, only closed. Yes, you're using pending listings to give you an idea of how strong the market is. So you're looking at days on the market, if it had multiple offers, things like that, if the price could actually affect your appraisal. But for the value portion where you're actually adjusting, only close comps. Pending listings just give us an idea. Like if my range was, you know, 295 to 300, but I see this similar listing that's pending and they went pending at, let's say 350, and it was on 0 days on the market and it was multiple offers, I know I'm going to be pushing my price beyond what my market analysis tells me, because that is telling me, hey, we can get more in here and we're going to have a comp by the time we go under contract to support that. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
No problem. Any other questions? All right. Got it. Okay, cool. So the rest is just people asking for cheat sheets and all of that. Guys, when I close this out, the chat's actually going to go away. Let me see if I can paste this too. Hold on. Yeah. I got it. Okay. So if there are no questions, I mean, right now is the time to do it. If there are no questions, what I'll do is I'll get the cheat sheets out to everybody within 24 hours. If you are not in Canopy and your MLS system is, you're not sure if it supports this type of adjustments and stuff, please shoot me a message so that I can actually come in on a Zoom with you one-on-one. We can look in your MLS, make sure you don't have that feature, and then we can go over adjusting on a spreadsheet if need be. You can do this without the cool software that our MLS provides. It's going to take a little bit longer. Before I let you guys go, I do want to point out one thing. When you guys are looking for your buyers and you've got multiple offers, use that range there to see if you can offer more. I know I said it at the beginning. I want you guys to try and use this to help your buyers too. And you should really be giving this to your buyers and saying, hey guys, we're multiple offers. I need you to know that based off the comps, the highest I think this home can appraise for is $331,000. Do you want to offer more than that, knowing it may not appraise, right? You're advising them. You're not making decisions for them. You're equipping them with data and numbers so that they can feel informed when they're coming up with a decision. And then if something does happen, say they go under contract and they offer 345 and it doesn't appraise at 345 and they're mad as fire, right? You can always go back to that. Like, guys, I told you it would not appraise for more than this. So keep that in mind. It says, outside of this demo, how long does it take you to put a CMA together for a client? If they ask, how long do you tell them roughly? So it's property specific. This one's really easy. I can slap this together in 10 minutes. My agents will call me if they're in between showings and they're like, my clients want to make an offer on this. Can you run a market analysis? And I'll sit there and do it with them on my phone. So the more you do, the quicker you get. Now, if it's a unique property that's going to require a lot of research, we're having a hard time finding comps, I would say maybe 30, 35 minutes tops. As a newer agent, if you're not spending at least 30 to 35 minutes on your first CMA or your first couple of them, I would be really worried that you weren't doing it correctly or thoroughly. Does that help, Paul? All right, guys. Well, I've got everyone's emails. I'll get cheat sheets out. I hope you have a great day. Thank you for joining me. For those of you that I know, hi, good to see you. And for those of you that I don't know, it's nice to meet you. And my number is 704-773-2117. So if you have any questions, let me know. This is going to be uploaded to my YouTube channel as well. So if you want to look back on it later, it'll be on the YouTube. You just type in Alexis Hughes, eXp Realty, YouTube, and I pop up. So I hope y'all have a great day. Bye.